All right, means of samples, example 2 from your textbook. Here's what I want you to do. We're going to read through the example, and I have it on the screen here. This is from page 153 in your textbook. I want you to pause me when we get done, and I want you to state out loud what it is we're looking for, what our two populations would be, and what would be our null hypothesis and our research hypothesis. And I'll remind you of each of those things when we get there. Okay? So a researcher wants to see if a communication skills workshop was effective in getting students to say, fewer times during a presentation. They call them verbal filler words. The researcher took 25 students and had them attend a communication skills workshop and then give a half-hour presentation. The researcher counted the number of those verbal fillers used in the presentation. Now, there was some other population of students that this was compared to. The other population of students, we know that the average number of verbal fillers in a half-hour presentation was 53, with a standard deviation of 7. Now, we know amongst the 25 students that did this special workshop, their number of verbal fillers in their half-hour presentation was 48. So, the researcher wants to determine what? I want you to pause me, and I want you to tell me what he is trying to find. I can type, I promise. Population 1, population 2, null hypothesis, research hypothesis. Pause me, answer all these either out loud or on a piece of paper. It's not for credit, just for practice. And then I'm going to talk through each one of them so you can check it. So hit pause, do it, and then hit play. So what is the researcher trying to find? The researcher wants to know if the students that took his communication workshop used less filler words in their presentation than students in general. So population 1 would be all of the students that gave half-hour presentations, student body in general. Population 2 would be the 25 who attended the communication skills workshop. Or you could flip-flop those. It doesn't really matter which one you label as 1 or 2, as long as you have them separated out. I think your textbook flips them. What would the null hypothesis be? It would be that there was no effect of the communication workshop. That, okay, yeah, sure, maybe 48 is less than 53, but ultimately it's not a meaningful result. It could have happened by chance. The workshop really did not make a difference. That's the null hypothesis. There's no meaningful difference between the students who did the workshop and the students who did it. The research hypothesis is that the students who took the workshop had a significantly lower rate of filler words in their half-hour presentation than the students who didn't. Okay? So now let's do the math here. I want you to look through this example, and I want you to write down on a piece of paper, grab a piece of paper if you don't have one. I want you to fill these in. Okay? Pause me, fill it in, then I'll walk through it with you. So what is our N? Remember, the N is the number of students that we're examining here. So our number of our group that we're doing, our sample size in our group, is 25. Their M, their mean, their number of filler words is 53. The mu, which is the mean of the general population, is, where'd it go? Oh, wait, no, theirs is 48. Our special sample we're interested in is 48. The mu was 53 because students typically use a mean of 53 fillers. Students who took the workshop used 48. And finally, our standard deviation was 7. All right, I'm going to switch my camera back to my paper and we will do our calculations.